smelled the plastic daisies, and it seems we found ourselves in.
What did you expect? What did you expect? Like, tell me from an honest point of view. What did you expect? What did you expect? Because if it was anything less than greatness and perfection, I could have told you from the moment it got announced, even before it got announced, because I just know this band. I could have told you before it even got announced that this was going to be perfection. And oh my God, was I correct? And so many people were also correct. This is art. This is art. And it's cool because so many people who don't listen to this kind of music just view all of this stuff as it's just screamo music, which I hate that word. It's so annoying. And blah, 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 this and that. I don't know how you listen to that. What do you mean? I listen to it because it's amazing. And like there are some times like that I can understand. Like if I'm banging Lorna Shore, I can understand where somebody's like, yeah. Because there's some times where I'm like, yeah, like, because Lorna Shore is a band where like I can only listen to them like at certain moments in my life. But Avenged Sevenfold, you can never go wrong with Avenged Sevenfold. If you're on aux and all you play is Avenged Sevenfold, then boy oh boy, are you good at what you do. Because Avenged Sevenfold has done it again like they've done on the other 7 albums that they've put out in their careers. And they've done it again and at a huge scale because it's been 7 years. It's been 7 years, and people are wondering, what's the new Avenged Sevenfold going to be? Is it going to be the same thing? Are they going to go back to City of Evil days? Are they going to go to the Warmness on the Soul days? Is it going to be like The Stage? And they've combined every album, and they put it in the one. They took the best parts of each of their album and of each of their past 7 albums, and they put it in the one album in Life is But a Dream. And that's not at all an understatement. I still don't know what I'm listening to. I couldn't tell you the genre of half these songs because there's a couple that are punk, there's a couple that are metal, there's a couple, and there's a couple that are like gospel therapy songs. There's a couple that are pure rock songs. But the one thing in common that they all have together is every one is perfect. And that's what I was truly missing for Avenged Sevenfold. It's been a long time. There were a lot of people who didn't like The Stage, people who just want the old Avenged Sevenfold back, people who want City of Evil. And don't get me wrong, I love City of Evil. It's one of my favorite albums by them. Probably is number 2 or 3 actually. But there's no point in thinking that in 2023 they're the same band that they were in 2005. There's no point in thinking that. So there's no point in getting your hopes up just to be let down. Because if you're a true fan, then you knew that this is what this was going to be. That's all they've been talking about. In the 4 years that this album was being written, in the 4 years, every single time I heard Shadows talk about it, or Sin talk about it, or Brooks talk about it, they said it's going to blow you away, and it's going to be a lot of things all at once, and you're not going to know what's going on. They're going to combine genres, and it's going to be amazing. And they did not lie. There was not a lie that anybody said. And they took one part. They took the best part of each of their past 7 albums, and they put it into one album, and they were like, and it was perfect. Because that's what they do. That's what they do on every single album that they put out. Every single song that they put out is perfect. It's produced great. Every single member who is in that band is perfect at what they do. In Avenged Sevenfold, they are all perfect for Avenged Sevenfold, and they all are phenomenal together. I don't even know where to start with this album because I've listened to it 3.5, maybe even 4 times now, and I still am at a loss for words because it's that crazy. It's that just mushed together and just thrown at you, and it's perfect. Because as soon as Game Over starts, here, let's listen to it together. As soon as Game Over starts, you're like, all right, like this is going to be like like an acoustic kind of gig, like an acoustic song. But then as soon as you get to a certain point in it, they go back to their roots, man. And then it gets all punky from here. And it's cool because that's a punk song. It's throwback Avenged Sevenfold. That's what all of them grew up on in, Long Beach, California? That's what all of them grew up on going to shows for, because they were punk kids. And then they found a love for metal. And I think it's awesome that they were able to put a punk song in here. And I think it's awesome that they were able to put a punk song in here, a couple rock songs, a couple metal songs, a couple gospel songs, and every single one, no matter, is perfect. I think that's pretty cool. And then you got Mattel, which is based off of the toy brand, obviously. And it's just about how we're all in this world, and we're like toys, and we're almost toys in a game. And I think it's a really cool song. And it's probably, I'm trying to think, because it's really hard to rank these songs just because they're all great and perfect in their own ways. So it kind of just gets to a personal point. But this is probably, I'm trying to, man, it's real tough between this and Game Over. And it's real tough between this and Game Over and Easier and Cosmic for my favorite song that was not a single. And it's just a really, really good song. It's fun. And it's got a little bit of, this is classic. And then it gets slow. And the best part is when Shadows gets down and screams. Who would have thought? Trying to find it. The best part is when Shadows gets down and starts screaming again. Like it's 2005.
And it seems we found ourselves in.
That's awesome. See, that's the throwback Avenged Sevenfold that there were a lot of people who were hoping for. And it's like I said earlier. Obviously this part of Avenged Sevenfold's awesome. I love this song. I just said it's probably one of my favorites. It's definitely top 4 and probably top 2, probably top 1 on songs that were not singles that they just came out with. And it's awesome. But I can respect all of the other stuff on this album because of how different and crazy it is. And then as soon as Mattel ends, you have Nobody, and then after Nobody, we have We Love You, which are both singles, both phenomenal singles. I know a lot of people also didn't like those. There are a lot of people who, as soon as they heard these singles, were really skeptical about the album, thinking, what am I getting into? Who's this new Avenged Sevenfold? We waited for 7 years, and this is what you gave us in Nobody, which I thought the song was amazing. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the hate behind it, but I thought it was weird. And then at the 5th track, you get the Cosmic, which, shout out to all my fans and everybody on YouTube, because I posted this video an hour and a half ago, and I checked it about 15, 20 minutes ago, and it was at 294 views. And I've never had a video blow up like that. And it's on pace to be my biggest video ever, and it's not even close. And so thank you to everybody for watching that video. And if you haven't watched that video and you're watching this video, please take a second and go watch that video. I'm really proud of it. And especially because as soon as midnight struck, I hit play on that song right in front of the camera. And so that's my first impression of the album, because everybody was saying how beautiful that song is. And that's exactly what it is. It's a beautiful song. There's 7 different genres in it, and you can't go wrong. Even if you're not into the new tracks that Avenged Sevenfold are going into, the new stage that they are in their lives, you have to appreciate that song because the instruments in it are perfect. It's beautiful, and there's really no other words. Speaking of beautiful, you have Beautiful Morning, which is an awesome song, and in my opinion, it perfectly leads into the next track, Easier, which is also one of my favorite songs, but talking about Beautiful Morning, it's just a really good track. It's called Beautiful Morning, and it's beautiful, and that's about as, it says it in the song exactly what it's going to be. Because if you're in the morning and you start your song off with Beautiful Morning, it's going to be a beautiful morning because that song is phenomenal, beautiful. And then that song transitions perfectly into track number 7, which is Easier, which is one of my favorite songs. It's got awesome voice effects. Shadow sounds so cool in it. I'm really hoping that they can play that song live because I think that song live would be really, really cool. And plus, it's really, really catchy. Like, there's a part of me that thinks, like, this song is going to be probably one of the top radio hits that have dropped from this album. Just because, it's almost written for radio. It's catchy. It's got these cool voice effects. That was kind of cool. I skipped and I went to, the same part. Like, these voice effects are sick. Sin! Sinister! Wow. See, I'm still getting goosebumps. And I've listened to this song probably 4 or 5 times now. Because that's how good it is. That's how good this album is. That you listen to it 4 times and you still get goosebumps like it's your first time. And I saw a tweet last night and I couldn't relate to it more. And it said, it was something along the lines of, I can't believe I'll never listen to Life Is But a Dream for the first time again. And I, as soon as I read that, I was like, wow, that's also me. Because the feeling that you get when you listen to this album for the first time is so much confusion. And it's almost like you're being lifted out of your chair or wherever you are. Like, if you're driving, be careful. Because this song ascends you into a different mind space that you don't know what's going on. Or, excuse me, this whole album does. So if you listen to this album for the first time while you're driving, be careful. Because it takes you and it lifts you up and it sends you and you're like, what just happened? And all you can think about is Avenged Sevenfold just rocked my world and put me into a trance that makes you realize how beautiful life is. And that's what I can get out of it. And then tracks 8, 9, and 10. Tracks 8, 9, and 10 is G, and then you have Ordinary, and then you have Death. And in the track listing, it's the God Trio. And this, I'm still not 100% sure exactly what this is getting at. I have ideas, but I'm not exactly sure. But G is a real punky, dancey. It's real punky. It's real dancey. And it's got, some taste of, Elvis almost. And, this song, almost makes you want to dance. What time was it? It was 3:30 in the morning, and I'm dancing in my living room listening to this album for the 3rd time. As soon as this song came on. It's insane. It's insane that Avenged Sevenfold can drop all these tracks and then drop a dance tune that sounds like you're in the middle of Graceland and you're watching Elvis play, which I think is pretty cool that they were able to do this. It's phenomenal. It feels really 70s. It feels like it should be in an MLB The Show game, which I do play that game from time to time, so I kind of understand. And just the riffs in it and the instruments in it, it just feels like a video game song. It's really good. It's really good. And in my opinion, this song is about God creating the world. I think that's what they're trying to get, and that's what I got out of it. And then you have Ordinary, which as soon as it starts, it feels like you're in a Stranger Things episode, and a Demogorgon is going to walk around the corner and be like, oh, sup? It's got a nasty, nasty bass line, and a lot of people absolutely love this song. It's pretty darn good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite on the album, but it's pretty darn good, and I can see why there's a lot of people who like it. And see, like, it feels like you're in a Stranger Things episode, and there's like a montage with like the 5 or 6 kids like who are riding their bikes in the middle of Hawkins. Then a nasty bass line gets kicked in. Ooh, Johnny. It's just a real fun song, and once again, like, it's just a song that like almost makes you want to dance. It feels like you're in like. It feels like. Well, this one feels like you're in a Stranger Things song, or this one feels like you're in a Stranger Things episode, and then the next one, which is Death, Death. It feels like you're in New York City and it's snowing outside and you're about to kiss under the rain or something like that, or the snow. This is what I get of this song. And plus the transition from Ordinary to Death is nasty. I'll play it for you. Like, it speeds up real quick and you're like, oh my god. Boom. Like, it's like, see, in my opinion, as soon as Ordinary ends, it takes you back to real life in this album. Because this album puts you in a trance and it puts you in a different mindset. And as soon as Ordinary ends and it speeds up like that, and it's, and then, it feels like you're in New York. I feel like it's you who is the listener is being transported back to Earth and being like, whoa, where did I just go to? And Avenged Sevenfold was talking this whole time that this album was coming out, and they were talking about how perfect that they think this album is placed and how they think it's great and it's perfectly placed in order. So you need to listen to this album from the first song to the last song because it makes so much sense. And it probably won't after the first listen, because after the first listen, I was lost. Absolutely lost. After the second, I was like, okay, like, I'm starting to get it. After the third one, I was like, I see. And now, the fourth listen, I'm like, all right, this makes sense-ish, kind of. Still not really, but it makes a lot of sense now. And then the closing track, there's no vocals. It's just a beautiful piano ballad. Shout out to Sinister on the keys, dude. See, like, once again, it feels like you're in a coffee shop in 1920 in the middle of New York City and it's snowing outside. And I think that's what this album was trying to do. It was trying to really speed you up, and then as soon as you hit that point, it slows you down and brings you back to earth. And this album is absolutely perfect, dude. It's been so long. It's been 7 years. And I love the stage. I love the stage. A lot of people hated it. I love the stage. So their last album I was really fine with. And this album has blown me away. Because I'm not usually the type to actually dive into albums and find meaning and try and find, like, okay, here's this point, and then we go here. I've been doing this for this album, and it makes it even better. There's a story behind it. In my opinion, which it probably is, and I'm probably just going to be an idiot sounding like this, but it's a concept album, and it takes you on a trip, and then it sends you back to Earth. And it's insane, dude. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. This is my album of the year. This is my album of the year, and nobody's changing my mind. Not a soul can change my mind. This is my album of the year. This is the greatest album of 2023, and I don't know which Avenged Sevenfold. This is probably their best album, in my opinion, since Nightmare. And I'd put it right next to Nightmare. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And if you haven't listened to it, you're missing out. You need to listen to this album, and you need to listen to it now. It's going to blow you away. You should put a seatbelt on. Like, even if you're sitting on your couch or you're sitting at your kitchen table with AirPods in, you need to put a seatbelt. So go to your local AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts or Bell Tire or Discount Tire, or I have no idea, and buy a seatbelt. And when they're like, oh, what do you need a seatbelt for? Be like, I'm about to listen to the new Avenged Sevenfold album, and it's about to ascend me into a crazy headspace that you don't know what you're going to expect. You don't know what's coming. and then you need to listen to it 4 or 5 times, and then you'll finally probably get it. Shout out to Avenged Sevenfold. Shout out to Shadows. Shout out to Sinister. Shout out Johnny. Shout out Brooks. And shout out Zachy. And shout out to everybody who's behind this album, because they put out an exclusively beautiful album. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I'm so happy that Avenged Sevenfold's finally back, and I can't wait to see them in a little less than 2 months, even though I saw them 2 weeks ago. And I would love to see them again, and I cannot wait. That's all we have for today, folks. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much for being a part of this Avenged Sevenfold journey and being a part of the first ever Macomb Metalcore Avenged Sevenfold week. It's truly an honor. If you spent your time, you're watching my videos, and it's during this week where you can be watching so many videos because everybody's talking about this album, and you chose to listen to it with me. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, it means the world to me. I'm hoping this video blows up, just like the Cosmic one is. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to me. And I'll see you guys soon with some new content. Hopefully there's some new music dropping. There's some new news dropping next week. And thank you guys for being part of this journey. And I'll see you guys soon. I'm Macomb Metalcore out.